Hello, welcome to a Pioneer stream. We're going to be trying out a deck that I've been working on off stream a non-zero amount of time, honestly. PSA, you can actually build this deck in Explorer. Like, all the cards are legal, so just a little heads up. But we're going to be playing some Collected Company, Recent Reef, COCOmbo. So, of course, this is Rug Elemental's COCOmbo. Coco because it plays Coco. What we're trying to put together, the way the combo works is we have Bergy, which you can't really see there, but it's a 3-mana 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell, you add a red, and until the end of turn, you don't lose this mana steps and phases end. Creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than once, which cannot come up, so that part of the text doesn't matter. The first part of the text is very relevant. Why is it relevant? Because of the card Grinning Ignus. Grinning Ignus right here, this funny little boy. For 3 mana you get a 2/2, not the best deal, but if you pay 1 mana, you can add colorless, and red to your mana pool. Colorless, and red is exactly the mana that it costs to cast this spell, and you can spend the red mana that you got off of your Bergy in order to bounce it back to your hand. Then you recast it, then you bounce it, you recast it. So that's how the combo works. This goes actually infinite. If you have a Recent Reef in play, you get to draw your entire deck and put all the lands from your deck into play if that's something that you want. If you have a Runaway Steam King in play, every 3 times that you make this loop happen, you get 3 red mana. So you effectively get infinite red mana. With infinite red mana, what do? We cast the Cavalier of Flame, which is a 6/5 that you can spend 1 colorless and a red to give creatures you control +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. So we can turn basically all of our creatures into infinitely large, and then we can haste them and swing for lethal. So that's how the combo works. This is going to be our finisher. That's why we're playing a couple of copies. And it also has an ETB and a dice trigger as well. The dice trigger I don't think has ever come up for me just yet. It's this X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of lands in your graveyard. The other part did come up, where you just discard a bunch of cards that suck and draw good cards instead. So that actually has come up a couple of times for me. Finally, if we have a Prosperous Innkeeper in play, you get to gain infinite life, because you bounce the Grinning Ignus infinitely. Each time it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. So you actually have infinite life. We are playing some ramp creatures in Llanowar Elves, and you're going to notice that we're playing Leafkin Druid instead of something like Sylvan Caryatid. The answer to that, obviously, is the fact that this is an elemental, so it triggers our Recent Reef, which can be very relevant, like having a 2-drop that it's a bad draw in the late game versus a 2-drop that cycles. It's a big difference. So I think that the upside of having of potentially drawing a card of Recent Reef is high enough that I'd rather have this over Sylvan Caryatid. Finally, the last card is Tangled Froahedron. This one is a land more often than not, but if you ever are in a situation to cast it, it does trigger your Recent Reef as well. Also, it's a card that you can find off Collected Company, which can chump block and whatever. So the last 2 cards are 2 copies of Living Twister, and this one is really weird. But the truth of the matter is that there are not that many good Collected Company targets that we can hit. And what this one does, which is a little bit interesting, is it stops certain problematic cards. So with the activated ability, which by the way you can activate after you're making infinite mana, you can do stuff like kill your opponent's stuff like, I guess Metal Mage is not really a card in the format, but if you have, I actually had this come up the other day on a league. I can't remember which creature I killed, but it was like some sort of problematic creature, and I was able to kill it thanks to the Living Twister. It's definitely the worst card in the deck, by the way. It's definitely the worst card in the deck, and I'm actively looking for a better way to fill these 2 slots. In the past, I had Omnath, Locus of the Royal, which was a little bit lackluster, and it was also not a Collected Company hit, so this felt like a better version of that Omnath. I also tried Escape to the Wilds, which was pretty good, specifically in the grinding matchups, and then it was terrible everywhere else. So I'm trying out, like, Pioneer is fairly aggressive right now, so just a 2/5 body is really hard to remove. So this is the card that I'm testing right now. It's not definite, and I expect this card to be cut very often. So That's just something that I wanted to point out. Finally, we have the mana base. I'm still working on the mana base. I have not yet been able to figure out. We have a reasonable amount of sources for all of my colors, and there's also the fact that Prosperous Innkeeper gives me blue for Recent Reef, so that's something that you want to be keeping in mind. But besides that, you know, this is where the mana base is at right now. I could see doing stuff like playing more Spiral Canal. I really wish we had access to the red-green fast land. That would be, I would be all over that. Unfortunately, Pioneer doesn't have that. So, yeah, we're just going to have to deal with this one of Rootbound Crag that it's terrible. This is the worst line deck, but I needed a red and green source in order to keep my numbers okay. This could also be a Ketria Triumph, but Triumph enters the battlefield tapped always, which can be a really big deal when you're trying to cast Collected Company. So, I tried Triumph in the past, and I thought it was pretty bad, so I ended up going for Crack here, which, again, may be worse than Triumph, but I don't think it is. Finally, the sideboard is just a mismatch of just random cards that are good in the Pioneer format. We have Aethergust, 4 copies, Mystical Dispute, 3 copies. I consider some number of Disdainful Strokes, but I don't know if... I don't know if they're worse or better than Aethergust. I think Gust is better, but I could be wrong about that for sure. 2 Flameblessed Bolt, this is mostly against Phoenix in Llanowar Elves decks. Fry, mostly against Thing in the Eyes, cards like that. 1 Scavenging Ignus and 1 Reclamation Sage. These are cards that we can bring in matchups where they're good, that are also Collected Company targets, which is something that I actually was having trouble with, which when sideboarding, I was sideboarding creatures because my deck is almost entirely creatures, and I was bringing in non-creatures. So I ended up in situations where my Collected Company were going down to like 25 or 24 hits, which is very low, and then they become a lot worse. So because of that, I wanted to have a couple of sideboard hits that could be good. And Iron Hairs is just a really good card in the format right now. Great against Greasefang, great against Phoenix, stuff like that. So that's overall what we're looking at. Why not the 4th Crack Crown Pathway? Because I wanted a land that can actually give me both at all times. Because sometimes, like once you play this as a green source, this is just a green source, right? And you're trying to cast a red card. Also, just having red mana so you can cast your Ignus and like bounce and replay it multiple times so you can gain life and draw cards of Recent Reef, it does come up fairly often. So because of that, because the green source matters the most on turn 1 because you're a Llanowar Elf deck, then it just got clunky after that, you know? So that's why I needed a land that was both red and green at all times. So that's the deck. We're going to be playing it through a Pioneer League and Magic Online. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, I'll see you for number 1. Alright, so this hand with any land can give me turn 3 Collected Company, so I'm going to keep this. We go turn 1 Crag, which is terrible, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, cool. We got rid of the Crag. Like now, it's now in play. We're good. We were not gonna be using the mana anyways, so it's fine. All right, that's Collected Company mana. So if we Collected Company into Burgi plus Ignis, we win the game. No, I guess we don't. We're gonna be missing red mana. Flameless Bolt. That's mean. Here's a green source and pass the turn. So unlucky. We have no cards to play, chat. So my opponent could be playing a control deck. I doubt it, because I think if they were playing a control deck, they would probably be playing what's his name? But this plays around Strangle if I COCO on their end step. And playing around Strangle seems like it could potentially be relevant. Alright, Bergi into Leafkin Druid. So as is, this is infinite mana if my opponent doesn't have a removal spell. Infinite life, sorry. Not infinite mana. So they could have Fiery Impulse. Yeah. Oh, okay. Lightning Axe, that's fine. Okay. Innkeeper. I think I'm just playing another Innkeeper here. Just gain a bunch of life. So next turn, this is going to tap for 3 mana if I want to. I could also just cast Cavalier. Spikefield Hazard. Okay. Okay. That's a lot of spells for not having a... What's his name, right? Red. 1, 2. Red. I think I want to draw 2 here. Just turn from rock combo to rock creatures. I mean, yeah, we pivoted. Pivot. So we get to dome them for 1 when this dies? Whew, that's hot. Jegantha to hand. You got it. Ignus. So we swing 6 here. We can also go Steam King Haste. Or we can go Steam King Living Twister. I think I'm gonna go Steam King Living Twister. You have to have Steam King out for infinite? Yes. Yes, I do. But next turn, we're going to get to turn this into a 4/4, which is nice. So we play Ignus, trigger this, we bounce it, we'll replay it, this turns into a 4/4. They're going to play Jegantha. Okay. Jegantha. It's firing up. It's firing up. Whoo, look at that. Look at it go. So I think we just passed the turn here. Honestly, it's really unlucky that you can only activate Ignus at sorcery speed, so you can't save it from removal. Kind of a beating, honestly. Okay, they finally found the Phoenix. Not super scared unless they have a Treasure Cruise, which they do. Okay, now I'm a little bit scared. Now maybe I'm a little bit scared. But we have... So if we draw Berger, we just win. So that's nice. Berger wins the game. Recent Reef would also be nice. Never mind. So that's dead now. Wish we're gonna have a mini Rukthar. I mean, you have Eidolon. Yeah, I guess second Steam King would have also won. I guess that's something I didn't mention. Like 2 Steam Kings plus Ignus is infinite as well. But it depends on the amount of counters that the Steam Kings have. So you need one of them to be already fully charged up. So we just discard that to Living Twister, which is interesting. I'm considering holding on to this because if we draw another Cavalier... Kind of wild how relevant Jegantha is right now. So I guess I could attack with both of these. If they draw another Lightning Axe, it gets a little bit problematic. So that kills Jegantha. And we still have the Cavalier in play, which is nice. Spike Field Hazard. Sadness. All right. Well, that's really scary now. Basically, just think for the follow. Forget about Cavalier buff and thought he's coming now. Where's my boy? Don't discard Phoenixes, please. Just don't discard Phoenixes. Okay, cool. That's fine. We're gonna get back the one Phoenix, but that's beatable. So they can't really attack. I guess I stand corrected. Recent Reef would be a great draw. No Recent Reef. So I imagine they're going to chump block here. They discarded pieces of the puzzle. Wonder what that means. I think we're going to play this land out past the turn. So now we're going to block the young PC. Oh, that's what they kept. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Second young Pyro. Yeah, so that probably means that we are gonna lose now. Because even if we assemble the combo, they may just have enough blockers that we can't attack through all the other stuff that they have. Particularly with 2 Ignus and 1. We could still COCO, I guess. We can still draw Collected Company and then start to accrue some advantage that way. Jesus. What is the combo? I mean, I explained at the beginning of the video. It's pretty convoluted. Well, that's a Collected Company. That's our best draw, so. Recent Reef, Leaf Kindred. Alright. Let's see if we can get there. Okay. Steamkin. Okay, like every body that we put in play actually matters if we do manage to assemble the combo. Also, I guess blocking is a real concern here because they have lethal otherwise. Could not put lands in play and then win with Twister. Well, but Twister requires you to have both mana and lands, right? So, yeah. Third Pyromancer is probably GG's. As long as they have literally anything to go with it. Last modern streamer streaming Pioneer, yeah. The last modern streamer will stream anything if there's for the right amount of money. You know what I'm saying? We have the infinite mana, then we can do it. Well, but you don't have infinite cards, right? 3, 6, 9. So this maybe matters. So we gotta draw another collected company, I guess. Grinning Ignus. Okay. So let's do this first, because that we get to trigger research. I'm assuming my opponent has nothing, right? Collected company. Whew. So cast Grinning Ignus, bounce it, replay it. That's 2 triggers. Bounce it, replay it, 3 trigger. I think this is infinite, unless I'm miscounting, which means we get to draw our entire deck. The problem is that this is infinite, but it doesn't actually net me mana. Well, Steamkin is infinite mana that now, right? Yeah, Steamkin is infinite mana. All right, sweet. Unless I'm miscounting here, I think this is infinite. And we have to keep an ETB and tap land. That taps... let's actually put that in hand. This is so hot. All right, tell me the truth. Isn't this just hot? Like, isn't this just great? There's a Living Twister. Like, how awesome is this? Look at the amount of things my opponent did and how we still got there. Well, now so we're netting so much mana. Fuck yes. I'm gonna say no to that. Float mana. I love this deck, dude. When I saw this deck, I'm like, well, the problem, always my problem with Pioneer was there's no deck that I like. And then somebody suggested something like this, and it looked a fair bit different, but somebody suggested this engine, like this combo in Spike's stream, and I was like, oh, that's it. There's my deck right there. So now we can start, we can just go face. So we're gonna say no here. We just throw all the lands in at my opponent's face with Living Twister. Or I can just like kill all of my opponent's blockers. This is great. It's an impressive thing, number of different things to click. Yes, it's pretty a little bit tough to mechanically. It's a little bit tough mechanically. I agree with that. Unfortunately, there's not a way to really speed this up. What's the win con? It's right here and right here. So I'm just looking for a painless, I'm looking for my basic forest basically. Just a painless red source so I don't randomly, I guess if they had a shock, they would have already killed me. But I'm looking for a green source. I'm going to just start throwing shocks at my opponent's face with Living Twister. Because we still have a land drop left. It's just like everything though, you know, like you're trying to have your fun and nobody concedes. That's an untap red source that doesn't cost life. Sweet, we got there. So play that. Cast Living Twister. Is this good enough? One, two, three, four, five, six. We have already enough lands to lethal my opponent from here. I don't know, man. This deck's great. I love this deck. It's also like my opponent did everything, right? My opponent did so much, and we still managed to. Collected Company was the missing piece, right? In my previous list, I was missing Collected Company. That was the piece of the puzzle. So Flameless Ball looks great, and I guess Disputes to counter the combos. Lana Werewolves suck. Just die to everything. When this hits YouTube, it needs to be played at 2x the speed. Yeah, big time. Big time. So we do have to make. By the way, Living Twister looked really good right there. Living Twister looked really, really good right there. Do I just cut a Cavalier? Aren't there ways to change mana colors and cast Oracle? What Oracle? Manamorph. This is Pioneer. This is not Modern, folks. Oh, Thassa's Oracle. No, there's no way to filter mana. Which is one of the problems, right? Like sometimes you just net it. You're just netting infinite red mana, and you can't deck yourself though, because as you're drawing your entire deck, a Recent Reef doesn't draw a card. It looks at the card, so you can't actually deck yourself, which has come up multiple times for me already. If this were drawing cards instead of just, you know, having this weird wording, I would have lost a couple of matches to decking. I think I'm cutting some Druids, maybe one Innkeeper and one Stimkin. Funny that was a matchup where Jegantha mattered. So my opponent made me execute my entire combo and we are still almost ahead on clock. You love to see it. Sand looks great. I'm gonna go turn 2 Innkeeper as opposed to Lift Kindred because I can potentially counter something. I'm gonna bring push shock. Obviously telegraphs the dispute very obviously, but that's in is being kept. You wouldn't have shocked. Well, they could have some enablers, right? It telegraphed the dispute pretty obviously, but at the same time, there are certain cards that I'm trying to. Also, I should have left this untapped. Like if they go turn 2 Charter Course or something like that. But yeah, turn 2 Young PC is literally the best thing they could have done. I think we're gonna lose this game. We're gonna need to draw Collected Company like this turn. We don't even have that much time to get there. I may just slam this Cavalier next turn. Strangle. Got me. I mean, I probably can't slam the Cavalier though. Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Either Gust. So we're gonna have to shock here, eat the Young PZ. Say go. They have Cruise. Ugh. Yeah, that's really good. That's really, really good. Look at the amount of spells. Like, it's turn 5 and my opponent has at least cast 7 spells. The good thing is that we're going to have plenty of time for game number 3. Gotta look at the bright side. Lightning Axe. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Do I want Gust? Let's do this. Just a singleton Cavalier. We can use the Living Twister as a win condition. But yeah, we see the problem that I was talking about, right? Like 25 creatures, like 25 Collected Company hits in this current sideboard situation. Ugh. Okay, so keep this. We're gonna bottom a basic forest. It's kind of nice, actually. Nice. Okay, so hopefully we find a land. Recent Reef. We did not find a land. But we're gonna be forced into doing this, I think. I'm not interested in Thassa's Oracle. I don't know why you're so interested in casting Thassa's Oracle. But we just don't need the card. And it's a bad card in the deck. Oh, whoops. Misclicked. Would love to be drawing some lands over here. Definitely sending up to the bottom. Just an alternative in-game plan. But it's something that we don't need, though. Like, it's just not a necessary thing. So why are you playing just bad cards in your deck that you don't need. It feels like you're just searching for answers for problems that don't exist. Like, I think you're just much better off just play your cards, you know? Ahí está el mazo siempre. Exclamation point deck. I feel like we win this game very easily if we find a land at any point. We win this game very, very easily. All we just had to do is find a land at any point in time. We can still get there. We can still get there. It probably includes drawing like a blue source this coming turn. And then we probably have like 1 at most 2 turns before my opponent's going to have enough of a board state that we're not going to be able to come back from. I'm kind of surprised they haven't yet removed the Innkeeper Charter Course. All right, we need to find land right now. Can we? This not having an activation cost is such a big deal. This card is big game, folks. This card is big game. Basically in every format. This sucks. This sucks. I really want to find land. Beating Needle. Well, so that's going to stop that problem for my opponent. Thank you, that JJ, for the follow. Deck sweet. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like it a lot, but you know, 23 lands and it's turn number 6, and we're still trying to find land drop number 3. I still can't believe we won game 1, honestly. Like, game 1 was so impressive. Game 1 was so impressive. So 2 Phoenixes. That's gonna be double the clock now. So I'm running out of time. I need to find a land this turn. If I don't find a land this turn, I'm just not gonna have enough time to win. Land. Okay. Man, that fucking sucks, man. Jesus. All right, see you next round. Okay, what do we got here? I think we keep this. We go turn 1 Florahedron. Pass the turn. Huh, blue mana or red mana is the question. Well, that answers the question. Playing around Sensor here. That Folly 300 had 100% fewer recent reefs. That's true. That's true. Which makes it objective worse, right? So I think I'm just playing recent reef now. Because I can potentially find a land. And that sets me up. The question is, do I play the Llanowar Elf? Nice. I think the answer is no, because if my opponent's gonna verdict, I don't want to give them a free Line of World for no reason. Shark Typhoon. Okay. Is company that much better than something like Fable the Mirror Breaker? Do you flip the combo a lot? Yes, you do. Can I draw two? Playing around Sensor once again. They could have Absorb. But. Yep. For a second I thought I had Collected Company in my deck. What a trip. I don't know what just happened. Weird. Also in this kind of matchup, casting the other side of Bergy does come up a non-zero amount of the time, which is funny. Do I want to play the Living Twister or Ignus? I think I want to play Ignus. Trigger! Hey, there we go. I guess I was just looking into the future. So I'm not going to attack with my creatures because they could have Shark or they could have the 2-mana exile a tapped creature. So... Oh, I don't have a red-red. That's a good point. That's funny. Game 1, this matchup is potentially problematic. The Fairy. The Fairy and plus. Huh. So if I Coco into Bergy, I win? I guess my pretty good Censor, the Ignus. So I guess let's do this instead. Let's say no to this because we can just play it untapped. And now... we get to draw a lot of cards. Put that into play. Put that into play. Shock. Bounce. Replay. I'm gonna discard the Land of Werewolf here. It's not bad. We drew what, 6 cards that turn? No big deal. Here comes the Wrath. Only way that we continue playing this game, otherwise the game just is gonna end, so. We have a bunch of mana, so I think we have to potentially just Collected Company. I'm gonna see what's full of red interaction. I'd buy this in a second, it looks sweet. Yeah. I like this deck a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. They could have a counter spell for this. Probably do. Veto. Play land. Cast Bergy. So next turn we have lethal. Assuming no interaction. Probably assuming no interaction against the control deck with 8 cards in hand. Not particularly safe, but Apex Gaming Esport, appreciate the raid. Welcome everybody. We're playing some Brew of Mine. It's a nice little combo deck. So I guess I'm just gonna jam Living Twister here, right? Twister threatens to kill the Teferi. A little bit short on red mana, unfortunately. We can bounce Boseiju. That's hot. That is hot. We can also bounce and replay this, which I think I want to do. So replay this on the front side. Upkeep. So they can't... Cycle Shark. Sphinx's Reb. Gross. I guess I should have played Crag over this. Meta Bolting you, Blue White. Yeah, my opponent's playing like standard from back in the day, right? Maybe they're playing Azorius Charms and shit. That would be hot. So if they have nothing, we do technically have lethal. So that sucks. Hehehe. Look at him grinning. Look at him grinning. I guess I don't want to attack. Just pass the turn and chill over here. Sensor. Cycled. Opponent's gonna... Oh. No Deluge? 2 cards on the bottom. Get him! Come on, Boseiju. Let's go. Please activate Field of Ruin into my Living Twister. Please, opponent. Give me a chance at winning this game. Oh man. Opponent's not doing it. Bergie. I mean, this is lethal. Like, I'm gonna go for lethal. Solitaire the Gathering with the Raid. Welcome, everybody. We're playing some almost Solitaire, not quite Solitaire. I mean... This is technically infinite, I guess. My opponent's gonna make me do it. Okay. Like I have to assume that they have a way to stop me, right? They're just gonna farm a bunch of my clock. They're just gonna farm a bunch of my clock and then just finally kill me. Put me out of my misery. So many clicks. So many clicks. I guess we also get got by Settle the Wreckage for what's worth. Yeah. Those Elemental Slime Giant Nymphs, they're not. They are lethal though. Again, like I'm just going for it because it's not getting better for me, right? Like I'm not gonna find a window where my opponent has nothing. So I just have to hope that their hand is a bunch of clunky removal spells instead of being cards that do stuff. That's funny. That's pretty funny. Okay. Like at least F6, right? Memory Deluge. Maybe I should have discarded the Ignis. I think I should have though. Fateful Absence. Well, I'm activating that once. Is that good enough? I doubt that it is. I mean, it's gonna dome them for 3, I guess. So this is 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Get to crack a clue here for our trouble. Or we get to play the other side of Burgi. Now let's actually cast the other side of Burgi here. We still get to continue going off because the Steamkin is... the Steamkin gets there. Like the Steamkin nets me mana. Veto. Okay. So there's still... We can still hope for a miracle. We can still hope for a miracle here. It would be pretty miraculous for us to get there. But now they're tapped out. They have no answers. And we're going to get to play the other side of Burgi once again. And we get to draw a card from the clue token. So at this point, we're looking for specifically like the second Cavalier. If we find the second Cavalier, we get there. So there goes that. Let's draw off the clue token first, I guess. That's nothing. All right, can we get there? Drum roll. And... Come on, come on, come on, come on. Another Steamkin. That doesn't do it. I mean, I'm gonna play it. Maybe they didn't draw a Wrath or something, but... So, what are we doing now? Just play the Steamkin. And I'm just gonna make sure that both Steamkins are at 4. Play this out. That's a good point, actually. Should I discard the elemental? Gives me 2 looks. Gives me 2 looks at finding exactly Cavalier, because I don't have any redraws, because I only have red mana. I think I like that. So it's 2 looks at lethal out of 31 cards. Yeah, I think it's not getting better for me. So because of that, I'm going to go for that. But I have to net enough mana to make sure that my board is lethal, however. So we're gonna net probably just 2 more activations. I think that should be fine. Man, I wish I had some green mana floating, because if I had found a green land off of the thing, we would have had another look, because I could have bounced the land and discarded that land. Alright, so I think I'm sold on Living Twister, actually. It has enough tiny synergies going on that I think I'm into it. I think I like it. It has enough tiny synergies going on with the deck. Well, if they had March, they would have already used it, right? Why would they let me do anything if they had March? But I want to make sure that both of these are 4/4s on the way out. We still have more time than a point after all of this. Yeah. As I was saying earlier, man, like Pioneer players are wildly slow. I have no idea why. Like, my opponent could have just F6 here. Why aren't they F6ing? Like, what are they doing? Why are they not F6ing, right? All right. Yes! Yes, baby! Yes! Yeah, baby! Woo! Fuck yeah! Woo! Is this hot or what? Yes! Yes! That was incredible. Oh my god. That was awesome. I can't believe we got there. In the very last look, we got there. Bashis Bay, thank you for the follow. Jeez. Was that sick or what? Little is Latias, thank you for the follow. I am pleased. Oh, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Yo, shout out to the other side of Burgie for giving me a Hail Mary. What are we doing here? Do I want to bin Florahedron? Or do I just not care about the second fry? I just do this. Oh my god, I can't believe what just happened. Keep. We're gonna keep this hand, chat. This hand will be kept. This hand will be kept at all times. Still ahead on clock, by the way. Still ahead on clock. So let's play this as a blue source. Leafkin Druid say go. Transferring Coco is objectively good. Big time. Big time it is. Never lucky. I have nothing to do on my turn 3. So unlucky, man. Can't believe how unlucky I am. I'm still jamming this company into my opponent's counterspell so I can untap on Coco again, or I can untap on Reef. Interesting. Okay. So it just resolves. I showed you all of these tricks opponent. I just let my collected company resolve. Okay. I'm gonna play around Shark. There's just no need to attack with the Innkeeper there. Can continue playing the slow game, playing around Verdict very nicely here. Opponent did have the Shark or Deluge. Okay. So I think I'm gonna end step Coco here, see what my opponent does. Ignus, Steamkin. So I think this is lethal. They have to counter this. They don't. Okay. So they have to counter this now. So now we get to draw an entire deck. And we are going to find a dispute eventually. Blue, green, colorless. That resolves. Okay. We're also gaining life in the meantime. Yo, Will, how's it going? So if they let me draw my entire deck, I'm eventually gonna find a couple of mystical disputes. So I'm just gonna have an untapped blue source, and then I have this treasure token chilling here. So I think that we just win if they don't have an interaction now. Because I'm gonna play around Settle the Wreckage. Just very easy. Why am I easing? So we're gonna say no to that one, because we're gonna play that out. Shock. Where am I using Virgin Mana first? It literally doesn't matter. I guess it does, because my idea is to hold up dispute. So you're right. Yeah. All right. We just got there. So yeah, what I was you're definitely correct there. So I mean, it doesn't matter. Like eventually, I'm gonna start using the other thing, and then we have the Virgin Mana, which doesn't empty, and we have like a bunch of red mana. Then we attack my opponent with we just combo off with double dispute backup because we have a blue source here and a blue source here. Not bad, not bad at all. See you in the ground. Okay, this hand doesn't have any red mana. I'm still gonna keep because we can have a turn 3 collected company. This deck doesn't really mulligan turn 3 collected company hands. So turn 1 Sanctum, Llanowar Elf. And turn 2 elf, tapped land, turn 3 Coco. Secluded Courtyard, human. Experiment 1. Okay, red mana. Easy red mana there. So, I think the play here is going to be Stimkin plus Elf. And now next turn I can go Coco, even through Thalia. Catilda, Dawnheart Prime. Human stop for mana. It's pretty hot actually. Well, that's interesting. Blue. Yeah, so I think we go for Recent Reef here. Innkeeper. Not bad, not bad. Pass the turn. So if they don't have a way to answer my creatures, we're gonna have a feast next turn. A feast, I tell you. We're gonna still have a land drop left to give. They have a lot of mana though. They have their own Coco, okay. Let's see what they hit. Put a percentage in each creature you control. Okay. Thalia Heretic Qatar. Let's see what they bounce. Like, it's not clear what they're supposed to bounce. They bounce Llanowar Elf. I don't think that was the one. Their dudes are big now. Big dudes. Big dudes are big. So 2, 3. That's hella scary. Okay. So that interstapped. So let's go Collected Company. See if we find Burgi. Ignus, Lifkin Druid. Those center tapped, but they gain some life, and they also draw me cards. Okay, so we win next turn. This interstapped. We're chilling at 20. So I think we're good to go. I don't think I can die from here. Even if they have something like double lieutenant. Yeah, Archon. Archon is the only thing that would get me. Well, Reflector Mage, what does Reflector Mage do, right? It bounces my Stimkin, right? And then, like, it time walks me in a way, but at the same time, like, I still gain infinite life. So it doesn't really do too much. Yeah, it makes it so I can't kill them. So what is this? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if they Coco into double, what's his name, I lose. So I think I'm gonna block Luminar Caspian, like just one of the 3 power creatures, because I have another Innkeeper in hand. So as is, we have lethal. As is, we do have lethal. While gaining infinite life. I'm not going to have infinite attackers though, because my attackers enter tapped, so I have to be careful with that. Reflector Mage. That's the best thing they could have. Far and away the best thing they could have. Let's see what they bounce. Grinning Ignus. That's the right one to bounce there. Thalia. That doesn't do anything at all. Okay, so we can't cast Ignus, which makes matters a lot harder. This enters tapped. So we want to Innkeeper first. Gain life of Elf. And am I dead? We gain 1 life up to 11. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. I think I have to leave as many blockers as I can. Cast Virgie. Play this out and pass the turn. So we can chump with this, and this. The only one that we can't chump is the Recent Reef. Just don't have something that kills me. Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one. So that's probably enough to kill me, I have to imagine. Dude, I have to dodge 1 draw step, man. All I had to do is dodge 1 draw step. Can you believe that? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have no blocks that work, right? I block all the 4 power creatures. Block 4, block 4, block 4, block 4. 3, 6, 9, 12. It's still lethal. I can't believe it. They draw Thalia's Lieutenant, man. Anyways, so Fry looks good. Flameless Bolt looks fantastic. And I think that's it. Living Twister is surprisingly powerful actually here. Like that a lot. So let's cut a Steamkin. Maybe what? Don't think we can realistically cut Recent Reefs. Maybe cut a Virgie. Nah, but we're gonna need the combo. Life is gonna matter. Cut 1 Leafkin Druid. Maybe cut 1 Elf. Cut 1 Cavalier. Last card in hand, Reflector Mage into untap with 0 cards in hand. Draw Thalia's Lieutenant. Ugh. Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. This hand's great though. Love this hand. Sanctum, go. Turn 2 Leaf Kindred, turn 3 Collected Company. Alternatively, we could go turn 3 Reef, see what we draw. I think I'd rather cast Collected Company before Thalia becomes a potential issue. But we do not have red mana for what's worth. That's kind of close to mattering, actually. Yeah, we're just gonna go Collected Company here. What is this, Mantis Rider? Jeez, that triggers this? Wow. Opponent's really good. Opponent is very, very good. It's actually not bad. It's not bad. Cavalier all the way to the bottom. Not gonna see it for a while. We missed on land drops twice. This is gonna tap for a bunch of mana though. It's gonna allow me to do a bunch of things here. Innkeeper is nice. So I think we lead on Reef. Draw Druid. Put that into play. We're gonna want an untap red source, I think. Play Innkeeper. 2 mana, play Lifkin Druid. This actually comes up a surprising amount of the time. Jesus. Just whiffed on a land. Okay, super punished. Ridiculously punished, but okay. I still think we're in okay shape here. This Innkeeper is going to do a lot of work for us. We somehow managed to dodge all of our red sources. We have 1 treasure in play, though. Yeah, we're going to draw very many cards next turn. And gain very many life. This bad boy is also... Like, tapping for 2 mana is kind of big. Collected Company is very good. They could have double Reflector Mage, bounce both of my recent Reefs, and now all of a sudden we may be in trouble. Or double Werewolf Capaculator, which doesn't really do anything. Gonna take 6. That's a red source, which is good. So we can go... Burgy first. Gain a life. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Collected Company. Float red. Another Steamkin into another Innkeeper. Innkeeper making mana is obviously good. Doesn't matter the order. Gain a bunch of life. Get a treasure. Put that into play. Draw that. Blue, green. Recent Reef. Make red mana. And now we're just looking for Ignus here. So I think this is just lethal. There we go. Another Ignus. Okay. So this is just draw entire deck, gain infinite life, make infinite mana. Make infinite triggers. Way too many triggers. Make that, cast Ignus. I don't think my opponent is particularly interested in conceding. They don't seem particularly interested in conceding. Play the 4th Reef. We need the colored mana, actually. Or I guess we may need the colored mana, would be more accurate. Not sure if I do need it, but I may need it. Look at the card! Hell yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. So, can you please concede, opponent? Pretty please. Pretty please. It's so many triggers, dude. It's just so many fucking triggers. So many triggers. I mean, I guess once we get there, it's not that much worse, I guess. Once like we draw the entire deck, like all of a sudden, we don't have to worry about the recent Rift triggers anymore. So that does speed up. But it's, yeah, it's a little bit annoying. Particularly because, you know, I'm playing a brew. I'm trying to see if it's good. Like, if you want to not concede to your opponent going off when they're playing, you know, like an established deck or whatever, it's fine. You know, like you hate X deck or whatever, but this is like, I'm playing a brewer. I'm trying to see if it's good, you know. This disincentivizes brewing in a way. Anyways, so many clicks. Maybe my opponent just wants to see the win condition, but they could just, you know, ask me in chat what's the win con, and I would tell them. There we go. So play that thing. I guess the win condition is me misclicking and actually drawing cards from Cavalier. That's my opponent's win con here. Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. So many clicks. It's so many clicks. I love how it puts the triggers on the stack anyways. That's pretty funny. Ugh. Also the fact that it moves the hand around every time. Like every time you bounce the Ignus, it just moves the hand around a tiny bit. But I can time my opponent out. Why are you playing a combo deck if you're not willing to execute the combo? It's like, sure, whatever. Whatever, man. Just trying to have some fun over here. Why don't you let me have fun? Why don't you let me have fun, opponent? I'm gonna kill that shit. Get it on my face. It's gone now. Like the Fighting Wish and Execute Swarm just for the complete overkill situation like this. Opponent better, but let damage happen now. No, they don't even give me the satisfaction. They're too cool. They're too cool. They want to punish me. I need to be punished. Me, the combo player. How do I dare play an infinite combo when my opponent's trying to play fair with their creatures? How do I dare? What kind of a monster am I that I dare? Ugh. Infuriating if you think about it. Who do I think I am? Who do I think I am running a combo deck in the Pioneer Leagues? Ugh. Disgusting. And I keep this winning the bottom Steam Vents. The hand's pretty nice. Pretty nice and balanced. Don't think I care too much about that guy, at least for now. And going turn 1 Llanowar Elf is pretty nice. Next turn we can go Innkeeper into Flameless Bolt. Kill most things that they could play. Okay. So we can still shrug the Experiment one if we want to. Unclear whether we do. Collected Company is my best draw. That's my worst draw. Here's an Innkeeper. And I don't think my opponent... There's just no way they're playing Combat Tricks, right? I'm not going to play around Combat Tricks. Next turn we play Steamkin. We'll love to dodge a Mantis Rider. Reflector Mage is kind of fine. Like, it's not super big deal. They can bounce my Llanowar Elf, I guess. Innkeeper. Sure. So I think I'm just going to play Burgi now. We want to definitely play this as a red source. And I think we just play... We could go Runaway into Burgi. That gives me a... Yeah, that's probably better, actually. So let's go Runaway into Burgi. And now we have a 2-2 and a 3-3. And the Steamkin can potentially grow next turn. And if my opponent offers a trade for the pack leader, I may just take it. Deputy of Detention. That's fine. So if we draw land, we can go Innkeeper into Burgi. I guess even if we don't, we can. And then we're going to have a 3-3, 2 3-3s to block. Just nice. Yeah, let's do that. So, Innkeeper. Make a Treasure. Cast Burgi. Make another 3-3. And I think we're playing out this land. If we do draw Living Twister, we can still do stuff. So what do we want to dodge? Collected Company? We want to draw our own Collected Company, and we want to dodge my opponents. That's the current state of affairs. Reflector Mage would be moderately annoying. Thalia's Lieutenant would be a little bit of a beating. Now all of a sudden, if my opponent attacks with Pack Leader, I'm just trading. I'm fine. I'll take 3. Okay, so that's it. That's all they got. Coco. Yikes. That's the one-off too, because we sided one out, but we don't have double red. Brutal. They're gonna get to draw some cards here, and unfortunately we are forced to block. If I block both, we lose to Lieutenant. Here my opponent can activate and they kill both. So at this point I have to draw Collected Company, right? So we're just gonna do this. Going down to 5. Portable Hole. Well, that was a good block thing, because my opponent could have Portable Hole the other thing. Can we draw a Coco? One time? It's a good draw. It's a pretty good draw. Can we draw Collected Company now? Draw Company. Come on. Innkeeper. So I think this allows me to cast the Cavalier. Like, it's not great, but at least it's a card that can block. It also gains a life. So if they have nothing, maybe we have a shot. Because the Deputy can't attack. Cavalier blocks Werewolf. Burgee blocks Lieutenant. Innkeeper chumps Reflector Mage. Yeah. This also means that now I can't win, right? I guess I can't pump this, so I have a free block. So maybe huh. So if I find Collected Company into... I need Collected Company into Risen Reef and what's his name, and then I win. I actually win the game, I think. No, I'm gonna be 1 green mana short of winning the game. Because I need the green mana to Living Twister. Oh no, I just need the green mana to Living Twister. Yeah, no, so that's... Okay. It's an interesting attack. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So yeah, so if I Coco into specifically Recent Reef plus Ignus, we win. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, opponent draws a card. We can block, block, block. If we do this, we take 4. We can also block, block. We also take 4. So I guess it doesn't really matter what we do. But these are the blocks that I want to make, because are the only ones that leave me not dead. This doesn't trample, right? No, it doesn't. It gains trample when you activate it, but... yeah, so let's do this. So, Coco? Coco for the sweat? Not quite Collected Company. All right. See you next round. Okay, what do we got here? This is an early Cavalier, which achieves nothing. But it has pretty good mana. Let's keep this hand and see where it goes. It's possible that I should be shipping this. It's possible I should be shipping this hand. I'm only human though. Castle Locktwain. You see, chat, I told you. Why would you ever ship this hand? Maybe I should have played Innkeeper there. Just more likely to survive. Also, these triggers Recent Reef and this does not. Yeah, I should probably play Innkeeper there. Okay, so this is a red-black deck or whatever. Blue, green, Recent Reef. Final land here will be pretty hot. Burgee. Yeah, I think I should have just gone for Innkeeper on turn 2. Like now if they don't kill the Recent Reef and I have the stupid Innkeeper that doesn't trigger Leaf Kindred, I basically didn't draw a card. Okay, so they did have the Dread War. Hey. I got nothing, opponent. There's no way I can have anything. I'm just very, very unlucky. I'm just out here being very, very unlucky. Blood Tithe Harvester. This is just like a legit threat in Pioneer. Or is my opponent playing Mardu, Greasefang or something? No, it's just, that's it. That's what the card does. Let's see, spin the wheel. Ooh, yes. Ooh, yes. Put that on top, thank you very much. Put it in play, thank you very much. Collected Company. Okay, so I think this is just draw the entire deck. 1, 2, 3. Cast Burgee. Bounce. Play this. I guess we also get to gain infinite life. Oh, but it's better to save the mana. It's better to save the mana to draw a just to make infinite mana and just kill my opponent. This is actually just lethal. Yeah, they can't fatal push anything, which is hilarious. They could technically fatal push the Runaway Steamkin. Another Ignus. Play Ignus. Now you can't be this fair, opponent. Can we just go? People just don't like losing to brews, I think. People just, you know, they want a net deck. They net deck, they have their, you know, they're better players than I am because they're net decking. They know what's up, you know. So they deserve the win. They're not supposed to lose to me. Alright, I think I'm just what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stop the recording and just not gonna torture torture my viewers with all of this delightful clicking. All right, resuming, and my opponent is not even F6. They're not even F6. Like, what are they doing over there? Just don't be like this person, you know? Don't be an Ildo. Don't be an Ildo. Just like, you know, at least F6, you know what I'm saying? You have nothing that you can do. Just at least let me go off in peace. So do I want Hearse in this matchup? I definitely want Scavenging Ooze. I definitely want Ooze. The thing is, do I want Hearse or not? Got a car? Who got a car? Bought my first car at the tender age of 33. Turns out it's fun to drive. Nice, Shauna. Congratulations. That's awesome. Do we go with Rex Age? Probably not. I don't think Hearse is good enough. Most likely. Am I just gonna Steamkin? I think so. Let's cut a Leaf Kindred. I think it makes sense to cut down on mana creatures against removal heavy decks. The problem is that we want to make sure that we adjust, right? Like we want to mulligan accordingly. Like if I have a one lander with a like or like a two lander or something, like I probably want to ship that, you know. Like if we're gonna be cutting down on mana creatures, we want to adjust our play. All right, what do we got here? Just one lander, probably gonna ship this. One lander, ship that too. Two lander, okay. Two lands is cool. Keep this, we're gonna bottom Steamkin, and I think I'm gonna bottom the mountain, and I'm gonna leave the interaction and see if it can get us there. Not bad. Let's play the blue source, then turn 2 we're gonna play the green source. Unless we draw something to do. Sure. I guess that's something to do. So they could have, they can't have Chandra. What can they have here? If they kill my Druid, I think I'm playing Recent Reef. This cannot kill the Leafkin Druid, which is nice. Legion's End can. Okay. Their hand or graveyard. Okay, so this doesn't actually get the cards from my deck, which is good. Like that part. Well, I'm definitely playing Recent Reef now. They have Thoughtseize too. All right, bye-bye Recent Reef. Maybe they take Coco. Like I'm only a land away from the company. Yeah, that actually makes sense to me. This Reef is still a 2-for-1. They can just use a Harvester to kill it though. Let's put that into play. Because if we find a red source, we can just slam Cavalier next turn. They should probably trade here. Come on, opponent, I mull to 5. I also love how my opponent made me execute my combo and I'm still like 2 minutes ahead of them. After executing my combo, like drawing almost my entire deck, making like a crazy amount of mana and killing them, I'm still like only 2 minutes behind their clock. You got me. I take 3. You have to kill this opponent. This needs to die. Otherwise you're giving me a shot. And you probably don't want to give me a shot. I should have kept this. I don't think so though. Alright, so now we have to draw either a Collected Company or another Recent Reef would be nice. Fatal Push. So Coco's our best draw. I don't think I'm gusting this, but if they activate then, I'll probably gust that. Okay. But that's obviously a lot more pressure. And this like closes the game so quickly. Alright. We can cast any card in our deck, so... Burgy. I think I'm not gonna play around second Cologans command. Like if they have second K command, they got me. But I think that if I'm gonna win this game, it involves me getting a hit on card somehow. And this is a great way to get a hit on cards. So I'm basically going to discard almost whatever I draw. Collected Company would be the only exception. Even if I draw Recent Reef, I think I discard it. I mean, they already killed one Recent Reef. Maybe I do. I do not discard the Recent Reef. Another one of those boys. All right, Coco, let's go. Definitely need more than a Prosperous Innkeeper. Not great. Not a great start. Maybe Pioneer players are like this because nobody likes Pioneer and they hate Pioneer too, and they know it and they try to be obnoxious for the sake of it being everybody hates Pioneer anyway. I mean, that's a convoluted, but yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe hating Pioneer is what the cool cats do, you know? Maybe it's cool to hate Pioneer. Maybe we should all be hating Pioneer. Let's go. Good cards. Hey. So we can't go infinite anymore because our Cavalier is exiled. But technically not dead. We also get to gain a life for free, potentially 2 lives. I mean, the difference between 4 and 5 probably doesn't matter. Because if they have shock, they have a Bone Crusher, they have a Bone Crusher. So I guess my infinite win condition now is Living Twister. And I'm gonna block just with the Ignus and trade. So if they have Colligan's Command, if they have Bone Crusher, I lose. Again, we gotta draw better than that. Steamkin, okay. And Florahedron actually triggers the Innkeeper boy, so getting there. Maybe I should have played the Ignus a couple of times, just because it would have represented gaining life, but then I don't know what I'm going to draw, right? Like if I flip Company and Recent Reef, I'm going to be able to cast both. So I'm not sure if it's actually correct to... It also uses all my colored mana, gives me colorless mana instead, so probably not the line. And I attack with the Innkeeper because I don't think I'm blocking with it. Maybe that's a little bit greedy. I'm going to be jumping with Florahedron here. Because I need to actually start getting ahead on board. And if I find another Ignus, this Runaway Steamkin can turn into a 4/4. Which just blanks the other thing. Okay. Collected Company. Aether Gust. F. So we have to actually gust that thing as opposed to the Bone Crusher. And then we chump Bone Crusher. Opponent's looking for a removal spell there. Makes sense. Champerino. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hail Mary. Okay. So this draws 4. Or Ignus. This also means that Steamkin goes to the bottom. No, I think I want to find Ignus here actually, because now we have 2 looks at Bergy, and if we get there, we may just win. Haha, you love to see it. So activate this for red mana. Cast Bergy. Innkeeper. Oh, we can't Innkeeper. I guess not yet, but we can find any land off the top. Bergy. The thing is, we actually can't assemble lethal here. I don't think. So we're just gonna get a pretty good board state. Wow. Opponent just concedes. They don't even want to see it. Awesome. All right. See you next round. All right. What do we got here? I think I keep this hand. Turn 1. Elf. Turn 2. Probably Innkeeper. Birge is such an interesting card in this deck. Like, as we just saw, it can get you out of very sticky situations, like we saw in the previous matchup. Like, Birge just kind of does everything. Opponent's the combo man, I'm the combo friend. Opponent moves to 5. Also, if they're the combo man and they're playing Lotus Field, we're probably pretty dead, right? How does Lotus Field kill you these days? I legit do not know. We need a combo friend emote. We always needed combo friend emote. Well, that sucks. I'm probably still casting Birge on too. What are my thoughts on binding after the bans? It's okay. So we definitely want to play Innkeeper, but I don't think I want to play Leafkin Druid, and the reason for that is that if I hold it in my hand, like, my opponent doesn't have a Thoughtseize, otherwise they would have cast it, right? And if I hold it in hand and I draw a Recent Reef, this represents an extra draw. Are they on Soulflayer? Maybe. Yep, they are. Well, there we go. That's why opponent's the combo man. Beaning Stubby. Sitalpa. That's so many keywords. That is so many fucking keywords. So they banned Soulflayer. So they could have a Soulflayer right now that has some flying double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible nonsense going on. That would clock me pretty quickly, to be honest. Yeah, that's what's going on. Oh, it doesn't have haste. Birge. Okay. So, and I'm doing it first because I may find a land off of this, and then I'd rather just be able to play a land that I find off of it. We only have 2 mana here. Oh, that's fucking delightful. It's the actual worst top 2 cards that we could have had. There's no worse top 2 cards that we could have found there. Maybe I should have discarded another land and hoped to find a land. Well, they're drawing the random one of Boseiju, probably kills me now. Well, that's infinite life, never mind. Is my opponent going to concede to infinite life? All right, there we go. Appreciate it. Thank you, Combo Man. So Scamming Genius seems great, and License Her seems good. That's it. shave a couple of druids and I guess a runaway Steamkin. Maybe I should be shaving a Living Twister instead. Okay, so I think this hand was pretty good. We top decked the Unlicensed Herb, but this hand was making infinite mana on turn 4. The Unlicensed Herb is pretty nice as a way to interact with what my opponent's doing. It does get good by Stubborn Denial, though. Does Leaf Kindred change anything? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna jam this Runaway Steamkin. We're gonna have to dodge... But we saw Stubborn Denial game 1. So we're gonna have to dodge my opponent finding the Enabler and finding the nuts off the top. If they don't find the nuts, we may be cool. Okay, so they decay my thing, that's fine, doesn't really matter. And I think we're gonna play Burgie here. So next turn, we don't have infinite mana anymore. But we're gonna be able to go Druid into Hearse. Or vice versa, whatever. Grisly Salvage. Nahiri's Wrath. Discard X cards is damage equal to total mana discarded cards to each up to X target creatures and players. That's spicy. That is hella spicy. Opponent plays the Mana Confluence. Decay my thing again. Collected Company? So this at least keeps my opponent at bay to an extent. Unless they have another decay. If they have another decay, they have another decay, but... Dude, Nahiri's Wrath is so hot. That's crazy hot. So I'm just gonna exile any 2 cards to grow this thing, and also it makes it so they need more to actually... So this is interesting. I think I'm gonna play... Yeah, let's just play the Burgie here. It's something that, you know, makes my opponent want to answer it, so they maybe they're gonna spend time and resources, but the real price here is obviously the Collected Company. One, two, three, four, five, six. They're close to casting Setalpa. They're 1 mana away from casting the fucking dinosaur or dragon or whatever that thing is. Collected Company. Well, let's pass the turn. Do I want to attack? I think I do want to attack. Remember when people play Soulflayer mode? Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. It was fun. Boseiju, my Hearse. Gonna get a couple of things on the way out. And I think we're just gonna get Steam Vents here. And again, playing around Stubborn Denial. That's what I'm trying to do. Dubious Challenge was something. Yeah, I remember. Fleetfoot Dancer. Okay. Another Mana Confluence. That card's hot. End step. Collected Company. Although I guess I should have cast this in response to this because of Stubborn Denial. So, Recent Reef, Runaway Steamkin, this means that we draw our entire deck. Sweet, 3 and 2. Oh, it also means that we have infinite mana, cool. 1, 2, 3. So. Infinite mana, infinite triggers, infinite draw. Three, 2, baby. Woo! Definitely clicked my way through this victory, but we got there. All right. That was cool. All right, 3 and 2 with this deck. Look good, actually. Like we managed to do some pretty impressive stuff. We managed to come back from some very, very tricky board states, and it was a lot of fun. It was something about this deck just clicks. Yeah, exactly. So, Living Twister, I was impressed by. I have to say I was impressed by Living Twister. I honestly hadn't even think when putting the card into deck. It's just one of those things, you know, when something kind of feels like it makes sense, but you don't really see it. So when I put the card in the deck, I'm like, okay, yes, I can kill something. I can kill a potential hate creature or something like that. Like it's a way to interact. I honestly totally forgot about the fact, oh, that's right, we're making infinite mana, we're drawing our entire deck. We can win without even using the combat step. Like it actually just works so well, and it's something that we can find off of Collected Company too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are just supposed to play one Singleton Cavalier of Flame and just play 3 Living Twisters. The thing is that the Cavalier of Flame win condition is just so clean, right? Like it's just so clean. It's very, very easy to put together. One thing that to keep in mind is that you do need to find, if you don't have the Living Twister already in play and you have exactly 0 mana left, you can't actually cast the Living Twister to begin with. So the Living Twister needs to already be in play in order to be a win condition, because you can make infinite mana and you may have infinite lands in hand, but if you don't have the green mana to get it, to cast the card and put it in play, then it's you're not going to be able to kill your opponent. So it's possible that this should be like a 3-1 split, but I still feel like it's possible that Cavalier Flame it's still worth including, just because you can win while just going infinite with exactly red mana, right? So you don't need any other color of mana, and you can just win off the Cavalier. So maybe like the single to copy is still worth it. I could see again going 3 and 2 though, which is cool. The mana base still needs work, however. I'm not super happy with the mana base. Like sometimes I feel like I'm struggling casting my spells. It happens rarely, but it does happen, right? Like it does still happen a non-zero amount of the time. And I guess that obviously that's just Magic, but at the same time, I feel like we can improve this mana base somehow. I just haven't figured out the way, and I don't think that Triumph is the way to go. So that there needs to be a balance between shock lands and pathways and check lands and fast lands. I mean, I think that it would be much easier to build if we had access to the red-green fast land. I think that would make things so much easier for this meta base to work out. But we don't really have access to that, so we have to, work with what we have. But Cage Triumph always entering tapped is a big deal. It's very problematic, and it has hurt me in the past. So I don't think that Triumph is the way to go. This was cool though. Like, I feel a lot more confident in this deck now. I feel a lot more confident in this deck. What I don't feel confident is that I'll find enough people that won't concede to once I have established the infinite combo deck. So that's the only problem this deck has. I tried the deck in Explorer on Arena, and it's actually easier to execute on Arena. So that's something, I guess. But yeah, the deck feels better in Pioneer than it does on Explorer, which is weird. Like, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because of how the metagame works, and like, the metagame being different just suits this deck better in Pioneer than in Explorer. But it's still a cool deck. It's still a very cool deck. I think that there's a lot of work to be done on it. And the fact that, I started and my first leagues were just like 1-4s and and stuff like that. But now, like, since I arrived at this shell, I have gone 4-1 and 3-2, which is not incredible, obviously, but a 7-3 record overall for a brew that I kind of, pulled out of my ass is it makes me happy, you know. Like I'm not very much of a brewer, so when something like that actually works out, I get happy. So sue me. What are you gonna do about it? Hopefully you did enjoy the video though. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're interested in supporting the stream, you can do that through Patreon. You can do that through donations, and you can do that through also, what am I missing here? Oh, that's right. Coaching session. So if you want to book coaching sessions as well, you can find all the information you need in the description of the video down below. You can also use Mana Trader and TCG Player whenever you use those services. Using the links in the description of the video, you can support my content for free. And that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.